Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row, best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Jim, Conservative Energy Network involved in what looks like a really important survey, and it has to do with the grid and how people view it and what people would like to see with it going forward. What's your takeoff from this survey? What are some of the major points that need to be made?
Sure. I think the first point that needs to be explained is that when Signal, CYGNAL, is the pollster that did the survey for us, is recognized 4 years in a row as the number one scientific polling company in the country, that sets us off with the credibility that people probably lack when it comes to polls and surveys these days. We have great confidence in them, and they did a great job for us, surveying over 1,000 people to get 1,000 responses, credible, that were both balanced, Republican, Democrat. And when you take a look at the survey results, and there is a webinar available that will be available on the website for both Conservative Energy Network as well as WCCS, the opportunity that this presents for us is to give us real-time data that was collected just 3 weeks ago to tell us how voters are feeling about the pain that they're feeling each day and each month that they receive their energy bills. And the day is coming where the fear of coming up with a reasonable approach to how we provide energy in Pennsylvania is allowed to happen when the pain overcomes that fear. You recently experienced it with a meeting regarding the Homer Center pipeline project, where opponents came out and discussed the fear aspect of what this pipeline will bring to the people of Homer Center and Indiana County and Armstrong counties. We deal with that in the area of renewable energy. The fear is what plays to the common denominator of people because it's an emotional response, but the facts don't stand up to the emotional response that we get a chance to talk about every day. And so these poll numbers are now starting to show that the pain is overcoming the fear. The pain of those bills and the pain of costs of expenses to run your home, run your business, is what we are most encouraged by, because we can now share this with elected officials who worry about how their constituents feel about projects versus the pain that they're feeling when those bills come due.
Justin, one of the things that stands out to me is how big the disparity is between the way we might think of what are the top energy concerns and what really, according to this poll, is the top energy concern for regular Joes. And that's affordable energy and affordability of keeping the grid system the way that it is, as opposed to finding a different way.
Yet cost impacts us all disproportionately. It's just a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Somebody who makes $80,000 a year versus somebody who lives on a strict budget below poverty, they tend to feel the impact of the rising cost of energy even more so. But at this point, energy costs are rising so great that it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's putting you in a position of question of affordability. Mm-hmm. Your rates are getting too high. What's going to happen? We're seeing a point where demand is beginning to outpace supply, mm-hmm. and that's driving the cost. Yeah. And that's leaving us in a painful position as consumers.
Jim, when we think about this,
mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that stands out to me again about the poll is that when we see the energy auction prices the way that they are, and when we see, the grid and its vulnerabilities right now, people are actually willing to pay more on their energy bill now to stabilize the grid and to make it better, as opposed to what might be down the road, which is completely uncertain, but really appears to be, it's going to be prohibitive.
It's insightful on your part, Todd, to recognize that, and I think you would recognize the poll numbers actually show that Republicans were more willing to pay a little more than Democrats, which is not typical. And the reason we did the poll was to get the attention of a lot of people, including the commissioners of the PJM that have a meeting next week in Philadelphia that both Justin and I will be attending. these numbers are meant to push them towards recognizing that in the queue there are thousands of projects that they just don't seem to want to move forward when it comes to renewable energy. They're more apt to move projects that are involving gas and coal. We get that. That's part of the energy legacy of Pennsylvania, but that legacy is changing. We're now into the fifth legacy of energy in Pennsylvania, and it has to include, with the data centers coming online, it has to include more options for energy to help those that we're used to in Pennsylvania sustain for longer, and to make sure that we don't have brownouts and blackouts in Pennsylvania. That is very, very concerning to the people that were called in this poll.
Yeah, and Justin, the people who responded to the poll also asserting that local control to them over the transmission lines, the grid itself, all of the infrastructure that actually gets the power into our homes, local control is much, much preferred over a federal government takeover, for instance.
Well, yes, for sure. But here's where we reach a point. If we're going to continue to object to development, it's going to continue to leave us in a precarious situation, because now not only are energy costs rising, we're not citing more energy in the state of Pennsylvania that has such a endowed energy legacy.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our fifth energy legacy. That energy legacy that we've built 4 times over has given us a stewardship position on energy to 12 other states. If we're going to continue to say, not in my backyard, citizens against virtually everything, build absolutely nowhere near anyone,
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to have to pay even more, because we're going to have to trust into other states like Ohio and Virginia to generate energy.
So there are obvious obstacles to overcome when we think about how to get energy into our homes. Jim,
Yes.
the results of the poll itself obviously serve to inform folks like you and others who have a concern here, which is basically everybody, stakeholders.
Yes.
Has to inform you on where we go next. So,
Yes.
so using this poll and its results, where do we go next?
Yes, great question. So the township supervisor level of government, the county commissioner level of government, and then the state legislator level of government, right up to Governor Shapiro. Right now, because of the budget situation we find ourselves in, energy has had to take a back seat. While the prices and costs continue to go up, we continue to struggle with that one little thing that we need to get done, a budget, so that energy can be put back on the front burner. And until then, we just continue to educate and let folks know that we believe in local control. The poll says we like local control, even up to the state level, but not at the federal level. But when it comes to real local level government, our township folks need to recognize that the local has a plus and a minus, because we are so local with our control. Some folks can make decisions to support or not support based on whether or not they like the person. They like the person at their church, or they like the person who's coaching their kids in their baseball or basketball teams. We can't allow that kind of local control thinking to continue, because it does. And it's human nature, I get it, but we have to be willing to take these numbers and show a bigger picture needs to be addressed.
We have seen, Justin, a number of different groups turning out. They had the DEP hearing last night at the KCAC, and folks are very passionate about it.
Rightfully so.
And you know, it's my backyard, and I don't want that in my backyard. I have concerns about environment. I have concerns about this. When companies, that company that we're dealing with there, Homer City Redevelopment, and what they're doing, and other companies, anybody that's involved in energy production in Pennsylvania, when those companies respond favorably to what the public really wants, there has to be a balance that we're trying to achieve here between what the public says is what they desire to have in terms of energy production and what is realistic in order to get that energy into your house.
Truly. So this is where you have to then start meeting people where they're at. I did hear a large cry last night for community benefits agreements. Maybe starting there is a great place to find a foundation for how to court the local. Mm-hmm. There's objection, there's concerns, but there is also a middle ground to stand on and say, hey, how about some rails to trails? How about some walking paths? How about some injection of funds into local nonprofits to help promote outdoor recreation, fishermen, hunting? These are scales of outdoor recreation that are dwindling at this time that could use an injection of funds and support. Mm-hmm. Trout Unlimited is here. We have hunters associations, I'm sure, here in Indiana County. Outdoor recreation is a very, very important part of rural culture. Perhaps starting there and finding a place to discuss and find middle ground with local groups would be a great way to forge community benefit agreements and raise support, because this is a continuation of the innovation of rural electrification. Mm-hmm. That's what's we're all watching take place here with the increase of energy, the data centers, the need for decommissioning and addressing energy legacy. Everything that's taking place here with energy in Pennsylvania, that's rural electrification's innovation as we're watching the expansion take place. Part of that is meeting the needs of the local community. Have some discourse. What do the locals need and want?
Last word, Jim Gregory, as we're running out of time this morning.
Yes.
Sunnyfield will take all of this data from the survey, and they'll plug it into the formula for how they want to move forward with their plans. Where does it go from here?
It's still a one day at a time process. Todd, it's every day people are recognizing that energy is becoming more a part of their daily concern, and these numbers will just help affirm why they have those concerns. If they're wondering, is it just me? No, it's not just you. It's happening all around us, to my neighbors, to my friends, to my coworkers. And so for the last word, people should know that this is not unique to these individuals. It's not unique to communities. It's unique only to everyone in Pennsylvania. If you want to call that unique, that what's happening is we need to address the how we put energy in the queue in Pennsylvania.
Jim Gregory, Justin Mason, thanks so much for the visit.
Thank you, sir. If I may mention briefly, Firepoint Energy, October 4th at 11 a.m., they are having an open house at their site.
You betcha.
Thank you, sir.
You betcha. All right. It's Indiana in the Morning. It's WCCS.
Retirement planning? Sounds stressful, right?
Not with us. At GCES, we make it simple, and dare I even say, fun?
Well, as fun as planning your golden years can be. But hey, no sales gimmicks, no headaches, just real solutions.
And the proof is in the pudding. We've been voted Best Financial Planner 2 years running in the Best of Indiana County contest, and we have thousands of happy retirees in over 30 states. As it turns out, we do know our stuff.
So whether it's 401ks, IRAs, annuities, or life insurance, we'll break it down for you without the confusing jargon.
Because you deserve to retire happy, not scratching your head over complicated financial plans.
So give us a call or visit GC